Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Coming to you from Excalibur Comics here in Shreveport, Louisiana. And you know what? I'm very fortunate to do an episode here at Excalibur. Because this is the second comic book store that I've ever been to. And the first time I went was about a little over 16 years ago, back when it was on Line Avenue across from Byrd High School. And as y'all can see, I'm wearing an Oklahoma State themed comic hero tee. To go along with it, this Oklahoma State hat. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it now. And as y'all can see, a few weeks ago, there was an incident that happened. Really, it wasn't an incident. It was more of a very unspeakable tragedy. Some woman who was driving under the influence ended up crashing her car during the Oklahoma State homecoming parade and killed 4 people and injured 34 more. Now, I just don't understand. What part of don't drink and drive is hard to understand? I mean, it'd be so easy to increase the laws, but at the same time, folks are still going to continue doing it. And in tribute to the 4 who lost their lives, I have their initials on the here on the left sleeve. But if you're watching this and you went to Oklahoma State University, my heart goes out to you. As a matter of fact, my heart goes out to the families of those involved, those killed and injured alike, and then the city of Stillwater, Oklahoma State University. I mean, words just can't describe. But anyway, now one of my fellow customers back at Clint's Comics in Monroe, Bill Scarborough, had come to me with a DC versus Marvel fight for the ages, and wow, this one is going to be a real off the wall one. Well, not as off the wall as Supermanium versus Animanium, but this one is actually features characters and not medals. On the DC side, we have Captain Carrot. On the Marvel side, we have Squirrel Girl. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call DC versus Marvel. Hulk! Smash! Welcome to DC versus Marvel. Today, it's Captain Carrot versus Squirrel Girl. Captain Carrot possesses superhuman strength, enhanced speed, stamina, hearing, and vision, limited invulnerability, and the ability to leap long distances. Squirrel Girl possesses superhuman agility, senses, and strength, prehensile tail, razor-sharp claws, retractable knuckle spikes, and the ability to communicate with squirrels. Who will win? You would think this would be comical. However, this would be quite violent. Captain Carrot is far from an equal opportunist. He tries to avoid the fight by leaping long distances, but Squirrel Girl catches him with her tail. Then after minutes of repeatedly punching him with her knuckle spikes, Squirrel Girl claws his eyes out with her razor-sharp claws. But wait, she's not done. She summons a horde of squirrels to finish Captain Carrot off. Squirrel Girl wins. And that concludes this DC versus Marvel fight. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the DC versus Marvel segment. We all kind of figured Squirrel Girl was going to win that. I mean, come on. Razor-sharp claws and retractable knuckles versus just being able to jump real high. No contest. All right, now it's time for Comically Speaking. So without further ado, let's talk comics! All right, now I just read, got caught up with Justice League, and there's a story arc going in there called The Dark Side War.
And in it, the Anti-Monitor, who originated from the antimatter planet Accord, decides he wants to come to Earth because he knew that Darkseid would come to Earth and he wants to kill Darkseid. And he's not the only one. It's revealed that Darkseid has a daughter who is half apocalyptic and half Amazonian. In it, strange things happen with certain members of the Justice League. For example, Batman knocks off Metron from the Mobius chair. He sits in the Mobius chair, and all of a sudden, Batman is a god. And then Superman and Lex Luthor end up on Apokolips. Superman, whose powers really don't work very well on Apokolips because of the Red Sun. Well, what does he do? He ends up getting a hold of the fires of Apokolips, and all of a sudden he becomes a god too. And it doesn't stop there. The Flash also becomes a god thanks to... The Anti-Monitor turns the Flash into a god. And then Darkseid, well, not Darkseid, but Shazam becomes a member of the New Gods. He is summoned by the New Gods to be one of them. And so that only leaves Power Ring, Cyborg, and Wonder Woman. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Darkseid also dies. But with Darkseid dying, guess who becomes the new leader of Apokolips? Lex Luthor. Oh, sorry, folks. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know if I told y'all or anything, but I'm kind of a big deal. Anyway, and in the pages of Batman and Robin Eternal, now, the whole mythology of Batman in this new 52 universe gets stranger and stranger. We find out that Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Cassandra Cain are all names on a list of the mysterious figure who calls herself Mother. Now, and that just goes to show you that Batman, or should I say Bruce Wayne, has been hiding a whole bunch of skeletons in the closet. But of course, he's Batman. He always hides skeletons in the closet. But there's pretty much a hit list out for these four characters. Of course, now Bruce Wayne isn't Batman now. That happens to be Jim Gordon. He's in some robotic suit, and he wants all of Batman's sidekicks to go to jail. Yeah, pretty weird. And then also we see the new 52 version of Stephanie Brown, who actually made her debut in Batman Eternal last year. But it just gets stranger and stranger, folks. And, Batman and Robin Eternal, just like Batman Eternal, is a weekly series from DC. And as the series progresses, I will fill you out more in future segments of the Comically Speaking segment in future episodes of the Comic Hero Show. Alright, that's it for Comically Speaking. And folks, if y'all have any DC versus Marvel requests, or any Comically Speaking requests, any topics for Comically Speaking, contact info is, as always, is down there. Alright, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week. Alright, first up is Justice League Darkseid War Flash #1. Now this is a one-shot that's a tie-in to the Darkseid War story arc that I was talking about in the Comically Speaking segment. And this one features the Flash. He is now the god of speed after he was transformed by the Anti-Monitor. And it shows what he has to deal with being the god of speed.
Yeah.
Alright, next up is Justice League Darkseid War Superman. Now this is Superman having to deal with it, and
the internet, so it's really no different.
after
ended up absorbing the flames of Apocalypse. All right, next up is Detective Comics number 46. This book pretty much talks about the Gotham City Police Department, and it mainly features Detective Harvey Bullock, being on the Batman squad, and I think Renee Montoya is in it as well. Oh, you can come on through. It's all right. No, it's perfectly fine.
Did I mess something up?
No, you didn't mess anything up. All right, next up is Extraordinary X-Men number 1. This is a new series in the all-new, all-different Marvel Universe, and it features a very interesting lineup. I mean, there's Storm, Colossus, Magic, Jean Grey, Logan, and Iceman, just to name a few. Oh, and Nightcrawler. And this is I really can't say much about this book, but I can't wait to read it. Again, this is the first issue, and it's part of the all new, all different Marvel Universe, and yeah. All right, next up is Invincible Iron Man number 3. This is the third issue of the new Iron Man series, and along the way, he's had to deal with his ex-girlfriend, Madame Mask, and this really started out when Madame Mask had ended up stealing something from Dr. Doom's castle. Well, he gets there and finds the castle being in shambles, and then he also finds Dr. Doom without a mask. Don't worry, he only has one. This Dr. Doom only has one scar. I think we'll find out more, in the Secret Wars miniseries as that continues. But when Dr. Doom decides, I don't want to fight you. I know you hate me and deservedly so, but I want to help you. Besides, I'm not even. He even says I'm not even the ruler of Latveria anymore. And Iron Man's like, yeah, whatever. And he thinks that Doom's in cahoots with Madame Mask. Well, he ends up tracking down Madame Mask, and at the end of it, Madame Mask ends up throwing him out of the hotel room that she was staying in, and it ends up disintegrating his armor. All right, next up is Deadpool number 1. This is the first series of the first issue of the first Deadpool series, and in this one, Deadpool has pretty much become a lot more popular than he has before. Instead of folks, thinking him as some freak who murders folks and does so, while breaking the fourth wall, they love him. And not only that, he also tries to run for mayor of New York. All right, next up is Nova number 1. Now, in the previous Nova series, Nova ends up finally finding his dad. He ends up finding his dad. He ends up going out to space. He finds his dad. All is right with the world. And now his dad is once again a Nova.
Okay.
And next up is Uncanny X-Men number 600. This is the last issue of this series, and in this issue we find out what exactly happens with the X-Men just before Secret Wars starts. Now keep in mind, in Secret Wars, Cyclops dies after going Dark Phoenix. But we also find out the fate of some of the other members of the X-Men as well. And up next is Amazing Spider-Man number 3. Now, in this one, Peter Parker has embraced the fact that he is Dr. Peter Parker, and that he's also embraced the fact that he's also CEO of Parker Industries. One of the many things that Dr. Otto Octavius does when he was trapped in his brain in the Superior Spider-Man series that just ended a year and a half ago. And also, we find out that he's going up against the Human Torch. The reason being, because the new headquarters for Parker Industries used to be the Baxter Building, former home of the Fantastic Four. It's going to be nostalgia time, folks. And next up are 2 issues of the same book. Star Wars number 10 and Star Wars number 11. Now, this series so far takes place right after A New Hope, which is episode 4, and The Empire Strikes Back, which is episode 5. And it's a great book. I mean, Jason Aaron has not disappointed with writing this book. On the first story arc, the artist was John Cassidy. On this one, it's the great Stuart Immonen. And I've always been a fan of Stuart Immonen ever since he penciled Action Comics back in the 90s. And let me tell you, this is wow, this is such a great book. Oh, and in this current story arc, we also find out that Han Solo has been keeping a secret. That before Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope started, he was married. Alright, that's 11 I bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,020. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Comic Hero Show, and I tell you, I really had fun doing this episode. I'm basically back home now. And again, my condolences go out to the family of those who were killed in the tragedy at Stillwater, Oklahoma, and also and also my heart goes out to those that were injured. The Oklahoma State University as a whole and the city of Stillwater. Watching this, I'm very sorry about what happened, and yeah. And also, t-shirts. If you want your own t-shirt, I will make them for you for a fee. For adults, they're $12, and for children, they're $7. I just made one for someone who lives here in Shreveport last week, and I'm also going to be. And if you want me to make one, just let me know. Contact info is down there. If you know me personally, you know how to reach me. You can call me. But if you think I'm going to give my cell phone number on this show, you are sadly mistaken. All right, I had a lot of fun, and words can't describe how much fun I had doing. Although I miss doing it over at Clint's Comics, but there have been ownership is changing over, and the person who's owning it, which is Renee Sessions, she still hasn't really gotten everything squared away. But eventually I will come back, and who knows? I may come back and do another episode here. That'd be all right. Would it be, Chris?
It would be awesome.
All right then. Well, I'm Victor Nolly. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next time for episode 89. Till then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and go Pokes.